fatal.
I knelt down, I told him I loved him, and then I asked God to take care of him.
Ron Morecambe's wife and father are soon transported to hospital along with 62 other injured spectators. The crash kills 11 people, including Galloping Ghost pilot Jimmy Leeward.
I knew right away Jimmy was gone. I knew there was no way that he could have survived something like that. He had been such a dear, dear friend. I just cried.
I'm Clint Cruikshanks. It's Howard Plagans with the NTSB. We've been authorized to take over this investigation.
Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board are already on site, promoting air safety awareness. They've witnessed the crash.
Watching the accident happen was quite unique. We saw the airplane pitch up, roll over, hit the crowd, and the three of us working were stunned. Portions of the airplane ended up about 100 yards from where we were sitting.
It can sometimes take days to start an investigation. But Howard Plagans and Clint Cruikshanks are at work in just minutes.
Nothing can be touched until we get photographs. Nothing moves, okay?
We could see the initial impact point and then the debris fanning out across the ramp. There was chairs, there was aircraft debris, there was liquor from all of the coolers that were in the boxes. It was just chaos. There was just debris everywhere.
Now, as they launch an investigation into one of the worst air race crashes in history, the NTSB needs to figure out what caused the Galloping Ghost to tumble fatally from the sky in just 9 seconds. In Reno, Nevada, NTSB investigators study the remains of the Galloping Ghost P-51 Mustang.
The airplane hit the ground at over 500 miles an hour, and so there was not much left. The largest piece maybe measured 3 feet square, but most of the airplane, especially the forward part of the airplane, was little tiny bits. And even the Merlin V12 engine was totally broken apart into individual cylinders.
Explaining what happened from the shattered debris alone could be impossible. The remaining air races are cancelled. Investigators start collecting evidence.
All right, listen up, everybody. We need every piece, no matter how small. So take your time, okay? And everything you find goes into one of these bags, okay? So let's get going, and thank you very much.
A few hours after the accident that killed 11 people, race volunteers and emergency workers are collecting debris to be stockpiled in an airport hangar.
Thank you.
It's a painstaking job.
My first step is to make sure the scene is contained and safe. And then let's have them start a grid from the impact point back to pylon 8 where we know the upset began. And then start looking for any perishable information that we need to gather immediately.
Thank you.
Investigators want photographic evidence as well. Stills and video of the crash taken by the thousands of fans on site.
We asked anybody that had something to contribute, go ahead and send it in.
The request turns up some jaw-dropping evidence.
We were able to get the airplane throughout the entire race, from the start to the finish, and that proved invaluable in the investigation.
Okay, and then we got 4, 5, 6.
A searcher finds an airplane part outside the search grid.
Where did you find this? Up there? Can you show me on the map here?
It was a light piece and it was far away, further than some of the other heavier pieces.
Crookshanks and Plagans wonder how a light piece landed between pylon 9 and pylon 1,
How'd it get all the way over there?
over 1,500 feet away from the crash site.
We would not have expected to find it where we did.
This is great.
Expect the heavy pieces to go the greatest distance from the accident site.
Good job.
And also, all the main wreckage was very dirty, had a slimy, greasy feel to it. This piece was pristine, was clean.
This is great. Well done. Thank you, Brett.
Investigators wonder about the significance of this piece. In a hangar near Sacramento, California, investigators go through bag after bag of collected debris that bears no resemblance to an aircraft.
Hard to believe that this morning this was a plane.
Answers about what happened will be hard to come by. But the news media is already speculating about a cause. A report featuring a photo of the Ghost just before it crashed shows the left tail trim tab coming off. That's the same piece found over 1,500 feet from the crash site.
The news reports were reporting that, they had solved the case with the missing left trim tab, left elevator trim tab that had come off. And at that point I said, well, I think we found that piece.
Trim tabs are key to controlling an airplane. While tail elevators direct an aircraft to climb or descend, trim tabs on their trailing edge keep the elevator in place without the need for constant adjustment. If the trim tabs fail, the aircraft could lose control.
Why did you break?
Did the tab break off and cause Jimmy Leeward to lose control? Or did the tab break off because the plane went so badly out of control? So far, the investigators have no idea.
We know that we have a process that is going to drill down the facts and figure out exactly what happened.
With so many unanswered questions, it's unclear how long it will take for investigators to solve this mystery. In the meantime, the future of one of aviation's most iconic racing events hangs in the balance.
I'd have to say one of the real big questions after this horrible accident was, is this going to be the very end of the Reno Air Races?
Thank you. Oh, hey. It's good to have you on board.
You bet, I'm glad to help.
Former astronaut Hoot Gibson helped NASA investigate the Columbia Space Shuttle disaster in 2003.
No one knows more about this stuff than you, so really appreciate it.
Now, Reno race officials have asked him to help the NTSB.
Collected from the Galloping Ghost.
He said, you really need to be part of this. And I said, okay, I'd be willing to do that.
Investigators want to rule out as many potential factors as they can. They start with the pilot, Jimmy Leeward. At age 74, he was already too old to fly a commercial airliner.
Hoot, you knew Jimmy real well. Did he have any medical concerns?
None that I was aware of. He was in great shape.
Look at this. He had a history of high blood pressure.
That's news to me.
Never mentioned.
Did Jimmy Leeward have a heart attack mid-flight and lose control of his airplane?
So our medical officer went and talked to Jimmy's personal doctor as well as his FAA doctor. And we always perform an autopsy on the pilot of an accident.
Investigators send Jimmy Leeward's remains for an autopsy. The report provides conclusive evidence that a sudden heart attack did not cause Leeward to lose control.
No drugs, no alcohol in his system, and no sign of heart disease. He was fit to fly.
Jimmy Leeward was in perfect health.
Jimmy was 74 years old, and his age had nothing to do with this.
Oh, hey, Clint Cruikshanks. Nice to meet you.
Having ruled out the pilot's health, investigators turned to Leeward's crew to learn more about the state of his plane.
He had a licensed aircraft mechanic as his crew chief, and he also had an engine builder on his crew. Those were the two people that we focused on in discussing anything wrong with the airplane.
So this is the actual data from the aircraft just before it crashed.
The most important thing that we discovered from the crew is that they had a telemetry system on board the airplane that was downloading data.
Instead of a conventional black box that stores flight data on board, Reno race planes use a telemetry system. A device on board the aircraft collects data on the plane's performance. That data is wirelessly transmitted to the ground crew in real time.
The Galloping Ghost recorded a bunch of engine parameters, but also recorded position on the race course, altitude on the race course, and speed. It was a welcome surprise that they had it because it gave us even more information about what was going on.
So you were tracking performance all week, all right? Lap time seemed consistent.
Investigators learned that as far as the crew is concerned, Friday's race started like any other, and that prior to the crash, the plane was performing well.
Looking good, Jimmy. Pressure stable, RPM solid.
Okay, I'll need a copy of this.
Even though on the surface the data reveals no issues with the mechanical functions during the flight, investigators want to dig deeper.
Speed and RPM look good.
Cruikshanks looks for clues that Jimmy's crew might have missed. But he comes up empty.
Oil pressure seems fine.
None of the data parameters help explain what could have caused a trim tab to detach from the plane. But one parameter does stand out.
Wow. Look at the G load.
G level refers to the gravitational force that we experience here on the Earth. All of us sitting on the ground here are seeing 1 G.
Smoke him, Jimmy. Go, go.
In the races, we'd be pulling 6 Gs. But Jimmy saw more than that.
You went right off the scale, more than 9 Gs.
And the onset rate, it spiked in under a second.
The gravitational load on the pilot when he goes into the steep climb is astounding.
Jimmy.
It doesn't explain why the plane veered off course, but it may explain why Jimmy Leeward never regained control.
Through video evidence, we were able to determine that that G spike was actually in the neighborhood of 17 Gs.
17 Gs is more than 5 times what astronauts experience on liftoff.
It's a knockout blow.
I would have been unconscious. Someone 30 years old would have been unconscious. Top Gun would have been unconscious at the G level that that airplane experienced.
Oh, no.
It's now clear,
Jimmy.
if Leeward wasn't incapacitated before the sudden upset, he most certainly was just seconds later.
What's happening?
Jesus. No, no.
It's very likely that the G-forces incapacitated the pilot within a couple of seconds so that the airplane was then uncontrolled as it hit the ground.
There was no way he could have steered clear of the crowd. But the spike in G-forces raises more questions. Did the left trim tab fall off, pitching the aircraft violently upward? Or did the violent G-forces of the climb start tearing the plane apart in midair? The demise of the Galloping Ghost remains a mystery.
That's a fuselage. Oh, man. I don't know, Howard. Trying to ID these pieces seems almost impossible.
You're right. It looks like a scrap heap.